Hello, species value nature system. When I was a kid in grammar school, in a high crest school, it was connected to the school I went to before that. When I was in grammar school, one day a bus paused near the end of the driveway on the northern side on the northern side of High Crest Road. Now this is interbranch foreign and domestic corruption intercities maintained. How I'm sure how to see this to discern this. And there was a person who was wearing glasses and he was wearing a hat. He was a young kid in a grade above me. I never had a conversation with him. He had different names. I forgot his names. He was Jeff Thoman or something. These are people associated with food bag, associated with Rocky Hill locations, Dakota's restaurants, and things like that, associated with criminally foreign influence states areas, criminal uses of databases. A real annoying thing where men and women make facial expressions, pretend righteous indignation and or you know as in other words wherever there was a former mayor Gold's daughter, and then these are courts forging and switching, all tied to their private other identity thefts, harassing people. They had that. I think it was Tim O'Brien, right in front of where he used to live, or where they were involved with that house, involved foreign and domestic families, involved with medical corruption and overt drugs crimes with the people and the people against it, using it for other natures of federal crime rolls with them, facilitated to it. So he was standing in the dress. I don't know if that was him. Across the street from him was his grandfather, but I don't know his name because I believe it's his mother's grandfather, Ray Colo. See, there's a Phil Colo also further involved with two Mendez pleas, with a whole bunch of DeMoros, a whole bunch of people involved with medical corruption acting with them through time. So they could have people perceive things and pretend believe, because these are fake positive natures. These are a whole bunch of people associated with the Leahy family, with the Britain Superior Court, attaching me to fake conversations since I was a kid, them attaching other kids to fake locations, fake database relationships. If you call up the school and ask them to follow directions, ask them for counters obligated by all involved to their crime acts, they'll lie about their communications with you. They used Facebook for threats before I called to report that. They lied about that. They hid the confessions in the crime acts of child offenders, proven that were furthermore with the leaders of the kids, even sexual, even medical, even judicial, fake names, forging names, switching names, falsified police reports, interbranch, switching names. Their motivations for this needed to hide their life progressions. I don't know that kid's name. He fought me. I never had a conversation with him. He tried to pretend other. This is associated with the bus company somehow. How the bus company was used by police forms, interbranch, foreign and domestic military, people associated with a whole bunch of people associated with a Brian Bonin, Town Line Oil. Well, they say they're not. So they're everyone's being coached to lie because the Weathersfield police chief's family and his daughter and extended family also for criminally foreign influence involved. Regardless if they're undercover, they shouldn't be attaching me to fake words and their perjury racket rolls, crime acts rolls leading up to in the 2006 case against me and others. They're taking my sources and they're attaching everyone to fake words since I was kids. They're sources that they affected to crimes, to criminal uses, interactions with me. They know that the branches that it's not them alone too, because those people also confessed to administrative court how their crime acts rules with overt criminal enterprises with the various people, with a whole bunch of people, names, men and women, with New Britain Superior Court through time, other natures of courts, Delafair family, a whole bunch of people, foreign and domestic, involved with the line progressions. I don't know them. See, these people forward switch names. These are I didn't know. I never had one conversation anything to do with it. It wasn't even my grade. That person now and this the other guy involved with the identity thefts. They try to with tricks to make people look bad. They slander people, they're stacking people lies about people in databases. Now they know that they were trying to, they know that my neighbor and me were not friends like that. We're just neighbors and we're victims of the same thing. That's why they had everyone confessing this stuff. And now that's why they're 4G name switching. They made them invest that now. So when I was in grammar school, they were putting databases crimes. I don't know what they wrote yet, the extent of it. And this is tied to Sandy Hook, Newtown, tied to my town with Interbranch, on off the state judicial branch, on off the Connecticut prison offices, on off campuses of each age, facilitated by a crime methods, bonded. I don't care if it's all undercover, because I know it's undercover shared policing through CCSU, SIC originally and still. You can't defend that and us at the same time. I just remind. So then, when I was in middle school, people weren't even in my class, like Joe DeMoro, Heather Hansen, Ray Clow. They put me in a summer school class. Rick Shanfine also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crime acts roles. A whole bunch of people tied through the Britain Superior Court, involved through time with kids criminally, with prison clicks, with databases, with sequence shifts, with lying to groups that they keep the life progression cover of nature with. They're preventing people from having lives unless they're going to be sick punk fakes with them. They have Sammy Vega involved with this. Criminal insidious nature, on off CCSU, interdepartments, interbranch family members, crimes with on off campuses, foreign and domestic. There are no justifications for them. Now, they're not letting free speech, and they're attaching people to more. They're stacking more names involved with them, 4G names, switching names. Then they have the family members of those police forms, those military families that pretend they had conversations with me, like this Robert Skivigil and his sister involved with the people with Middletown. Whole bunch of foreign and domestic military and medical people involved with psychology. Psychology is involved with where they have to hide lie progressions from free speech now. They have to hide the dirty, fake correlation nature souls. Law, identities of law, all individually grouped and together. These are the answers. We have everyone draw what is unfathomable to counter, and we figure out how we're going to do it real fast. That's how we're going to do it. And we're going to be relief right there. Because then there are means. People aren't going to care. So we have to deal too with charity. We're going to change the nature of everything, and that changes fact treatments. That changes what can be fathomed. Changes what can be speculated. That changes the nature of impositions upon each. Now one must teach. Free speech. WFSB, fix the fake news. Fox Connecticut News, fix the fake news. You guys are also recording wire crime methods, not just wire crime acts, wire crime methods with child sexual offenders. Even if that was made up about the principal's child sex offender, he's recorded, confessed, involved with interbranch criminal uses of their Facebook for sex crime acts on there, threats on there, sequence shifts, hid that in cases with the forging, switching names, other natures of predicate acts, mail crime, wire crimes. You should fear God that you even protected my words with these two Mendez police too. Whole bunch of people on all Fox Connecticut News and with those buildings there. Whole bunch of people that had this Rick Shanfine pretend he had conversations with me. They never were. They had him act with people associated with those building owners, associated with the neighbors around this Brian Bonin and this Fienza. These Fienzas are recorded, confessed all kinds of natures of federal crimes with body dumping spots with various natures police forms interbranch. And with this Dillon family, with my new and past neighbors involved with crimes with kids, lying about my behavior too, and to have 4G names and switching names to do it with this Leahy family. Now we need them in jail now, and we need them to get one name in sequence too, because they're using they're recorded and confessed involved with the 4G names, switching names, and database crimes of the Wethersfield Police through time since they had kids that are now sick adults with them, from the former director of the FBI down, from Rocky Hill, those spot from Rocky Hill, a spot associated with all associated with this DeMoro family, all the way to downtown Hartford, where there's little creeps with his roles with all undercover private other. Forget about it. Get me a response right now. Get them to pick one name in sequence and get down. And I never had a conversation. I never had a class where I never was in the presence of the Alison Mulcahy and her sister and her mother and parents involved with these police forms, male and female, with child defenders, with female judges. Get everything straight and get the sequence straight. Don't pretend I knew these kids in grammar school that I never had a conversation with, but I had those weird things with their timed confessions towards them. And then they were involved now with federal crimes thereafter. These are life progressions. These are making life progressions. There's a whole bunch of people with a Joshua Julian, with federal verbal crimes, with overt criminal enterprises through grammar schools. And this is tied to how our American history is really taught wrong. You fakes. Don't pretend you're hiding because of your kids' emotions. Get my name out of their minds real fast. And put yours on paper. Give me paper now with their names into branch and one name and one sequence. Let's go. Get a response. Respond for the wire crimes too. You lied about every conversation with me. Respond.